He was the only hidden Sheng of the Blazing Flame Valley, a being known only to Xiao. On the map of powers in the Central Plains, the structure of one tower, two sects, three valleys, and four pavilions had lasted for hundreds of years. This meant that the towers, such as the Pill Tower, stood at the peak, followed by the great sects, then the valleys like Blazing Flame Valley and Ice River Valley, and finally the four great pavilions in the east, west, south, and north, such as the Falling Star Pavilion. Although Blazing Flame Valley was one of the three valleys, under the shadow of powers like the Heavenly Netherworld sect and the Flower sect, it had always remained rather low-key. It was not until Xiao founded the Tianfu Alliance that Yao Lao Yao Chen revealed the truth. Blazing Flame Valley was far from simple. The founder of the valley was once in existence no weaker than Xiao Xuan. According to Yao Lao within Blazing Flame Valley, there was still an ancient ancestor alive, a man of high-level semi-Sheng strength. Whether he had already stepped into the Sheng realm was uncertain. But during Yao Lao's era, this person had already been a legendary figure. Only then did Xiao realize that he had underestimated the ancient sects of the Central Plains. Any faction that could survive this long could never be ordinary. That man was the true spiritual pillar of Blazing Flame Valley ancestor Huoyun Laozu. The life of ancestor Huoyun was a reflection of the rise and decline of Blazing Flame Valley itself. As one of the strongest living powerhouses in the Central Plains, his cultivation journey had been filled with obstacles that few could imagine. Blazing Flame Valley had always inherited fire attribute Du Qi. 1,000 years ago, the valley had even produced ancestor Fen Yan, who reached the peak of the Sheng realm. This foundation made it a cradle for future elites, but also a target of the Hall of Souls. As a youth, Huoyun displayed extraordinary talent in controlling flames, his mastery far surpassing his peers. Within just a century, he reached the semi-Sheng level, becoming the most promising successor in the valley's history. Yet, just as he was about to break through to Sheng, disaster struck. The deputy hall master of the Hall of Souls suddenly led an army to attack Blazing Flame Valley, aiming for the valley's secret flame techniques. Huoyun, in the middle of his breakthrough and severely weakened, was no match for the hall's fully powered experts. To protect the valley's legacy, he forcefully ignited his Du Qi to push the breakthrough process. Although he managed to repel the invaders, the deputy hall master left him with a deadly hidden injury. His Du Qi stagnated, his cultivation path forever severed. The battle damaged his reputation severely. Outsiders only saw a crippled expert who failed to ascend. But none knew he had sacrificed half his life to save Blazing Flame Valley. Grievously wounded Huoyun made a fateful decision to retreat from the world. He declared publicly that his injuries were too severe to continue leading the valley, passing the title of Valley Chief to Tang Zhen, and secluded himself deep within the valley's flame chambers. This retreat lasted for decades. Without its supreme pillar, Blazing Flame Valley's status in the Central Plains plummeted from the top of the three valleys to the very bottom, even becoming the target of deliberate suppression from the Heavenly Netherworld sect. Rumors spread that Huoyun Laozu had long passed away. Even many disciples of Blazing Flame Valley believed their legendary ancestor was no more. No one knew that within his secret chamber, Huoyun endured unimaginable torment. The dark poison left by the Hall of Souls corroded his meridians day and night. Every time he circulated his Dao Qi, it felt as if his body was being consumed by fire. Yet he never gave up. Using the valley's ancient flame techniques, he burned his own flame to refine the poison little by little, drawing upon the natural fire vein beneath the valley to accumulate strength. This patience was not weakness, it was the forbearance of a sage. He knew that only by reaching the Sheng realm could he truly protect Blazing Flame Valley and stand against the Hall of Souls. Years later, though, his outward wounds healed. The hidden injury persisted, one that later became the key reason he was persuaded by Xiao. For a Sheng, such a flaw was not only a hindrance to power, but a stain upon one's pride. Huoyun had been waiting for a chance to take revenge on the Hall of Souls and to completely heal himself. That opportunity came when Xiao appeared. After Xiao broke through to Sheng, the Falling Star Pavilion faced increasing pressure from the Hall of Souls. Realizing that he could not face them alone, Xiao decided to establish an alliance. He personally traveled to Blazing Flame Valley to invite Huoyun Laozu to join. In the novel, Xiao only sent an invitation letter, but the anime adaptation changed it, so he visited in person, highlighting his sincerity. with introductions from Tang Huo and Tang Jinxiaoyan finally met the legendary ancestor. By that time, Huo Yun was no longer a semi-Sheng, but a mid-1-star Do Sheng. When Xiao Yan invited him to join the Tianfu alliance, Huo Yun did not immediately agree. Instead, he proposed an unexpected condition: let Tang Huo and Xiao Yan marry. Though abrupt, the demand carried deep intent. Huo Yun had long noticed Tang Huo's affection for Xiao Yan, and politically, marriage was the most effective ancient method to strengthen alliances. However, both Xiao Yan and Tang Huo understood that fate could not be forced. Xiao Yan already had someone in his heart, and Tang Huo did not wish to force destiny. At this pivotal moment, Xiao Yan's sincerity shone through. He declared that even if Huo Yun refused to join the alliance, he would still help heal his hidden injury. This selfless sincerity deeply moved Huo Yun. In the end, he agreed to ally Blazing Flame Valley with the Falling Star Pavilion and the Tianfu alliance, while also respecting the young one's choices, abandoning the idea of a political marriage. After joining the Tianfu alliance, Huo Yun Laozu gradually recovered his cultivation, even improving further. As one of the few Do saints in the alliance, he became a key figure, serving as vice leader of the Tianfu alliance, a vital pillar of its strength. In countless clashes between the Tianfu alliance and the Hall of Souls, Huo Yun Laozu stood as a blazing pillar amid chaos. Each time the alliance faced despair, his flame cut through the darkness, turning the tide when all seemed lost. His power filled the void left by fallen heroes. His wisdom steadied wavering hearts, and his very presence became the shield that bought Xiao Yan the time he needed to rise. The alliance might have been forged by Xiao Yan's vision, but it was sustained by the faith and sacrifice of those like Huo Yun, veterans who had once seen the world burn, yet still chose to believe in its rebirth. When Xiao Yan finally ascended to the realm of Dodi, Huo Yun stood among the witnesses of that glorious dawn. To him, it was not merely the birth of a new emperor. It was the vindication of everything he had endured: the centuries of solitude, the agony of hidden wounds, the endless struggle between duty and desire. For the first time in 1,000 years, the fire within his heart burned not with pain, but with pride. Huo Yun Laozu was not merely powerful, he was profound. Once he had been a stern and unyielding elder, bound by the traditions of his sect. But over time, his flame tempered rather than consumed. He transformed from the rigid patriarch who sought to bind destinies through marriage into a wise mentor who understood the beauty of freedom and choice. That change did not come from enlightenment alone. It came from watching the courage of youth and realizing that hope too could burn brighter than flame. To the disciples of Blazing Flame Valley, he was both a strict grand elder and a deeply revered guardian. His stern gaze concealed a heart that burned with quiet care, seen in his gentle guidance of Tang Zhen, his silent protection of Tang Huo, and his unwavering devotion to the sect he had nearly died to defend. Even as a Do Shenghua, Yun understood that there were forces in life, that no cultivation could control love, destiny, and the passing of eras. Some bonds could not be forced, some fates could not be rewritten. Yet in accepting this truth, he transcended beyond strength itself. That understanding, the serenity found between fire and restraint, was the final enlightenment he had sought through centuries of flame. And thus, as the embers of an old era faded and a new dawn rose beneath Xiao Yan's blazing star, the world would remember Huo Yun Laozu not only as a warrior of flame, but as the sage whose heart burned brightest when the world was at its darkest. If you enjoyed this video, please show your support by giving it a like. And to make sure you never miss out on future content just like this, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell.